The Krabby Patty secret formula has remained the holy grail of Bikini Bottom mysteries. Mr. Krabs guards this recipe with obsessive paranoia, storing it in a high-tech safe that would make Fort Knox jealous. Every time our viewers get close to discovering the truth, the show pulls away with misdirection, fake recipes, or convenient interruptions that leave us more confused than before. The formula's addictive quality goes beyond normal food cravings. Characters literally fight wars over these burgers and experience withdrawal-like symptoms when the Krusty Krab closes. The desperation customers show suggests something more than just good seasoning is at play. Plankton's decades-long obsession with stealing the formula indicates it contains something revolutionary that would guarantee instant success in the restaurant business. Various episodes have dropped tantalizing hints without revealing the truth. We've seen reference to King Neptune's Poseidon powder, mysterious bottles labeled with unreadable text, and ingredients that seem to defy explanation. The recipe appears to require specific preparation methods and timing that only SpongeBob has mastered, suggesting the secret might be as much about technique as ingredients. The show's creator Stephen Hillenburg took the answer to his grave, leaving the mystery officially unsolved. This deliberate ambiguity has spawned countless theories ranging from love being the secret ingredient to more disturbing explanations involving addictive substances, or even cannibalism, but the truth remains locked away forever. Pearl's missing mother. The relationship between Mr. Krabs and his whale daughter. Pearl raises immediate questions about basic biology and family history that the show has never adequately addressed. How does a crab father raise a whale daughter? Where is Pearl's mother? And why has she never been mentioned, shown, or even referenced in passing throughout the series' entire run? The size difference alone creates practical mysteries about Pearl's upbringing. How did Mr. Krabs care for a baby whale? Did he hire help, or was Pearl somehow born smaller and grew to whale size later? The logistics of feeding, housing, and raising a creature hundreds of times larger than yourself would seem impossible, yet the show treats their relationship as perfectly normal. Pearl's expensive teenage lifestyle raises additional questions about her background. Her desire for costly items and brand-name products suggests familiarity with wealth that Mr. Krabs' penny-pinching wouldn't provide. This could indicate Pearl comes from money, perhaps inheritance from her missing mother's side of the family, or that Mr. Krabs has hidden wealth specifically designated for Pearl's care. The show's creators have deliberately avoided explaining Pearl's origins, with animator Vincent Waller revealing that Stephen Hillenburg was against revealing how Pearl joined Mr. Krabs' family, how Spongebob and Patrick met. Different episodes present contradictory accounts of how they first encountered each other, suggesting either poor continuity planning or deliberately mysterious backstory elements that remain unresolved. In some flashbacks, SpongeBob appears to already know Patrick when he moves into his pineapple house, greeting him by name as if they're already friends. Other episodes suggest they met as neighbors after SpongeBob established residence in Bikini Bottom. The Truth or Square episode shows SpongeBob recognizing Patrick immediately upon moving in, contradicting earlier implications that they were strangers who became friends. Their childhood is equally mysterious, with episodes showing them at different ages but never consistently explaining their shared history. Did they attend school together? Were they childhood friends who reconnected as adults? The show provides glimpses of their past without creating a coherent timeline that explains their deep bond and intimate knowledge of each other's personalities. The inconsistencies might be intentional, reflecting how childhood friendships often have unclear beginnings that feel like they've always existed. Hey, by the way, I'm posting pretty consistently here, so it would mean a lot if you could subscribe to the channel and drop a like for the algorithm. The Goo Lagoon paradox. A beach with water different from the ocean water that characters normally breathe and swim through. This creates a nested underwater environment that defies physics, marine biology, and basic logic in ways that the show acknowledges but never explains. Characters treat Goo Lagoon like a surface beach, complete with lifeguards, swimming, and drowning risks, despite already living underwater. The water at Goo Lagoon appears denser or different in composition from regular Bikini Bottom water, allowing characters to swim in it while breathing the surrounding ocean water. The beach's existence raises questions about Bikini Bottom's geography and physics. If characters can drown at Goo Lagoon, what makes that water different from the water they breathe everywhere else? How does sunbathing work underwater, and why do characters need lifeguards when they already live in an aquatic environment where drowning should be impossible? Stephen Hillenburg's marine biology background makes this paradox even more intriguing, as he surely understood the scientific impossibility he was creating. How old is SpongeBob? One of the show's most confusing continuity issues, with official documents contradicting episode content and time travel storylines that make his actual age impossible to determine. His driver's license shows a birth year of 1986, making him 39 in 2025, but this conflicts with his behavior, living situation, and the show's floating timeline. Episodes featuring time travel and future sequences show SpongeBob at various ages without consistent aging patterns. SB129 shows him in both the distant past and future, while other episodes depict childhood memories that don't align with his supposed birth year. The show's commitment to keeping characters eternally the same age creates contradictions when specific dates are mentioned. SpongeBob's maturity level and life circumstances suggest someone much younger than his license indicates. He lives alone, works full-time, and handles adult responsibilities, yet displays childlike enthusiasm and naivety that seems more appropriate for a teenager or young adult. His relationship with his parents and his general worldview don't match someone approaching middle age. Mrs. Puff's criminal past includes strong hints about a criminal past that force her to change her name and potentially enter witness protection. But the show has never fully explained what she did or why she's hiding. Her paranoid behavior around authority figures and her knowledge of legal procedures suggest experiences beyond normal teaching careers. References to her name change appear in multiple episodes, with Mrs. Puff occasionally slipping up and mentioning her old name before catching herself. This indicates deliberate identity concealment rather than simple name preference, suggesting she's hiding from someone or something specific. Her fear response to police and official investigations goes beyond normal nervousness to genuine terror. The Flying Dutchman's true identity remains completely mysterious despite his frequent appearances throughout the series. While based on legendary maritime folklore about a cursed ghost ship, the show's version provides no backstory about who he was in life or what actions condemned him to eternal supernatural existence. His knowledge of historical events and maritime traditions suggests he's been dead for centuries, possibly dating back to the golden age of piracy or even earlier seafaring periods. However, his familiarity with modern technology and contemporary culture indicates either adaptation over time or more recent origins than his appearance suggests. His ability to interact with both supernatural and mundane elements of Bikini Bottom suggests unique status among the underwater community. The curse that binds him to his ghostly existence appears connected to specific actions or choices made during his lifetime, but these triggering events remain unexplained. Traditional Flying Dutchman legends involve blasphemy, cruelty, or broken oaths that condemn sailors to eternal voyaging, but SpongeBob's version never reveals which transgression earned his supernatural punishment. How is there fire underwater? One of the show's most acknowledged scientific impossibilities, with characters themselves occasionally pointing out the contradiction while offering no explanation beyond accepting it as normal. Episodes regularly feature campfires, house fires, explosion flames, and even fire-breathing creatures underwater, all burning normally, as if surrounded by air instead of water. Characters express surprise when reminded that fire shouldn't work underwater, suggesting they've forgotten this basic fact rather than living in a world with different physical laws. The temporary acknowledgement, followed by immediate acceptance, indicates deliberate absurdity rather than alternate universe physics. The selective application of real-world physics makes these fire scenes even more confusing. Characters can drown in certain waters, need air when visiting Sandy's dome, and demonstrate understanding of normal water properties in other contexts. Squidward's real age remains mysteriously undefined despite clear evidence that he's significantly older than SpongeBob and Patrick, yet lives a similar lifestyle that raises questions about his life choices and background. His cultural references, sophisticated tastes, and attitudes suggest someone with considerable life experience, but his living situation and career level indicates someone just starting adult life. Squidward's bitter outlook on life feels more appropriate for someone who's experienced decades of disappointment rather than a young adult just entering the workforce. Yet Squidward works an entry-level retail job, lives in a modest house, and has no apparent romantic relationships or family obligations that would typically accompany middle age. The Hash-Slinging Slasher's origins. Squidward's terrifying tale contains specific details that suggest either elaborate fictional creation or knowledge of actual events, but the story's truth remains deliberately ambiguous throughout the episode and beyond. The legend describes a former Krusty Krab employee who died after cutting off his hand and replacing it with a spatula, then returned as a vengeful ghost seeking revenge. His ability to predict the 3 signs of the slasher's arrival, lights flickering, phone ringing with no caller, arrival at midnight, implies either creative storytelling or familiarity with actual supernatural patterns. The episode's resolution reveals the mysterious figure to be a harmless job applicant who coincidentally matches the description, but this explanation doesn't address how Squidward knew to expect these specific events. The coincidental appearance of someone matching the legend exactly raises questions about whether Squidward was telling a true story that happened to repeat itself. SpongeBob's driver's license. Mystery. His inability to pass his driving test represents one of Bikini Bottom's most frustrating paradoxes, as he demonstrates exceptional competence in every other area of life while becoming dangerously incompetent behind the wheel of a boat. His job performance shows remarkable skill, precision, and ability to handle pressure. Yet these same capabilities completely disappear during driving tests. SpongeBob can coordinate complex cooking operations, manage emergency situations, and demonstrate fine motor control in numerous contexts, making his driving failures seem almost supernatural in their consistency and severity. The pattern of his driving test failures suggests specific psychological triggers activated only in testing situations. Plankton's size inconsistency creates ongoing scientific paradoxes that the show acknowledges but never explains, as he's supposedly microscopic, yet consistently visible and able to interact with regular-sized characters in ways that defy basic biology and physics. His ability to be seen without magnification contradicts his Plankton classification, while his strength and mobility exceed what should be possible for his alleged size. His restaurant operation, marriage to a computer, and criminal activities all require physical presence and capabilities that contradict his microscopic classification, making his existence a permanent biological mystery. Sandy's funding source. Elaborate underwater laboratory, expensive scientific equipment, and ongoing research projects require substantial funding that remains completely unexplained throughout the series. Her complex inventions, spaceship construction, and high-tech dome maintenance suggest access to resources that far exceed what a lone scientist should be able to afford on an unknown income. Her Texas background might provide family wealth or oil money that funds her research, but the show never references financial support from home or family resources. Her scientific work appears to be independent research rather than university or corporate-sponsored projects, yet she maintains equipment that would cost millions of dollars and require ongoing maintenance expenses. Her submarine and space travel capabilities suggest connections to major scientific institutions or government agencies that would provide funding for advanced research projects. However, the show maintains complete silence about her financial backing, leaving her wealth and resources as one of Bikini Bottom's most practical unsolved mysteries. The Dirty Bubble's regeneration. To repeatedly return from apparent destruction raises questions about his true nature and the source of his regenerative powers that go beyond normal villain resurrection tropes. His connection to the Dirty Bubble wand owned by Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy suggests technological rather than supernatural origins, but this relationship remains unexplained. His targeting of the same heroes repeatedly indicates either personal vendetta or program behavior that drives his ongoing criminal activities. The specificity of his conflicts with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy suggests history beyond random villainy, possibly involving his creation or initial encounter with the heroic duo that established permanent enmity. The mechanism of his regeneration might involve the Dirty Bubble wand serving as a respawn device that recreates him whenever he's destroyed, making him effectively immortal as long as the wand exists. This would explain both his persistent returns and his consistent targeting of the wand's owners, as destroying them might be his only path to permanent freedom. Bikini Bottom's government structure remains completely mysterious despite numerous episodes involving legal issues, civic events, and community decisions that should require governmental oversight. The absence of visible political leadership, voting processes, or administrative infrastructure raises questions about how the city functions and who makes important community decisions. Episodes occasionally reference legal systems and courts without explaining who operates them or under what authority they function. Characters face legal consequences and official procedures that suggest organized government, yet no consistent political figures or administrative bodies appear to oversee these processes. The disconnect between legal activity and political authority creates confusion about actual power structures. The occasional appearance of official figures like judges or city planners occurs without context about their selection, authority, or accountability to citizens. These episodes treat government as existing when plot convenient while ignoring the administrative infrastructure that would make such officials possible, leaving Bikini Bottom's actual political system as one of its most fundamental unsolved mysteries. And this was every unsolved SpongeBob mystery explained. Which mystery did you find the most interesting? If you enjoyed this video, I'm going to be posting a lot here, so please subscribe, and thanks for watching.